Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. My name is Haley Delgado. I'm an astrologer, otherwise known as Moon Girl, otherwise known as at my Moon Girl readings across all platforms. And if you are new here, welcome to the Moon Gang. If you are an OG and a returner, what's up? I hope you are doing beautifully. All of you guys, new or returners. Today's video is a request from you guys. I asked you guys on Instagram in my stories what you guys would like to see, and a lot of people really liked the 2026 career prediction / career for the year ahead. So I love my career. I think a lot of people are more like career purpose orientated, like legacy orientated, which is just interesting. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to serve you guys what you guys would like. And this is going to be a series. So if you guys have not checked out my overall 2026 year ahead series, that has a playlist. Your rising sign is in there. You can watch for friends and family's rising signs as well. And if you don't see your sign posted, your rising sign posted, then turn on the bell notification and it's going to let you know, just notification, when yours is uploaded. That way you can save to watch later. You won't miss when yours comes around. And also, if you guys love the free content or you guys have an idea, let me know in the comments and feel free to subscribe. It is absolutely free and you will get more astrology content for the year ahead. You'll get to learn about yourself, about your relationships, about your purpose, about your life, and you won't miss out on more magic. So just thank you guys also so much for 500 subscribers. We are growing, we are thriving, we are all connecting. I'm so grateful for the community here. Now, today's breakdown, Scorpio risings. We are going to do the same thing that I did for the 2026 year ahead predictions. I'm going to go into the major transits that I did my homework. I did my homework and I wrote down the major transits that I saw for Scorpio risings for career. So we're going to do that. And then we are going to roll the astro dice. You know, since all of us are so individual in humanity and so different, there is many different nuances within astrology charts. And so to account for those nuances, I would love to play with chance and probability and roll the dice for the peeps watching my video. Y'all get a special message. So this is going to be like any extra confirmation or anything that we didn't get from here that's going to be specific for your chart. Love. And then last but not least, we are going to pull a one card from this Goddess Power deck. And my purpose with this, no matter what you choose, either this is going to be a goddess that has an asteroid that is going to be prominent in your chart. That is a little surprise treat that you could look up and see what it's going to be doing in 2026 within like your 6th house or your 10th house or your 2nd house of money, work, career. This could be a goddess that is closely working with you. And last but not least, this is just going to be something to focus on. This is going to be a message at the end from your spirit team or the universe or whatever you believe in, even if it's just the cards. So amazing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in my Scorpio risings. Let's go ahead and see what this year is going to bring for you for your career. By the way, do you guys like the widescreen? Do you guys like seeing more, or do you guys like a little bit more personal zoomed in? Let me know. I decided to change it up since my iPad has this setting. Alrighty, Scorpio risings. So the first transit that I want to talk to you guys about, so transit number 1 is going to be on February 13th. So this is January 21st when I am filming this. This will be up shortly. So this is the first transit coming up. It's pretty soon. And guess what this is? This is Saturn entering Aries. Now, Scorpio risings, we are going to be focusing in on your 10th house, your 6th house, and your 2nd house. That's really what I'm looking at, with an emphasis in your 10th house. So Saturn entering Aries is going to be February 13th. By the way, if I'm talking about a lot of transits and you have an instinct to write something down, or you really want to write down a date or a transit, please consider just going to my website. I have 2 calendars that I put a lot of time into those too. On Google Calendar, I went ahead and put all the transits that are major for 2026. There's a freebie 6-month one. That's why I really wanted to make a freebie product that was sick. Like, I really wanted it to be something that was useful, something that everyone could use, something that was easy to download, easy to access. So you'll get the first 6 months free with the freebie. And then if you want the full 12 months, it is $12. So it's like $1 a month. So back over here, February 13th, why this is important. So this is important, Scorpio, because Saturn's going to be moving through your 6th house. So it's amazing when we have Saturn trining another area of our life. So a trine in astrology is a flowing aspect, and it is pretty subconscious. We do not consciously utilize our trines. It is more so subconscious. So that being said, we effortlessly are going to be putting in the work and seeing our career life in a very sober manner. We're going to see and create a plan. We're going to feel very dedicated to showing up. We're going to feel like we want to take responsibility in regards to our legacy that we are building, our career, and our public image, our reputation, right? And our goals and our achievements. So Saturn tends to bring this doer energy. Saturn loves results. So this is promising because Saturn, and I love Saturn for this, the 5D planets are really cool and experimental and energy, like the higher energies, but something that's so underrated about the 3D energies is that you know exactly what you're going to get when you're going to get it, for the most part. And so what I mean by that is Saturn rules over linear time. So each and every day that passes by that Saturn is in Aries going direct, it is going to, day by day, you are going to see the results that you put in for your career. So that's why I love Saturn, because what you get in is what you get out reward wise, right? And this is also like a little tidbit, because Saturn is associated with karma. This is a lot about not only taking responsibility for us doing the work, but also how we treat other people. That is going to be very, very important, since Saturn's passing through our 6th house of being of service to other people. And so we are building a great reputation, right? We have the power to build a really great reputation. We have the power to set strong boundaries in our career. We have the power to make a lot of progress, to stretch ourselves more in our career than we have. Especially if we've had a lot of dreams, because Neptune's going to be moving through the 6th house too. This isn't a transit that I wrote, but I think that it's worth noting. And Neptune loves Leo energy, by the way. So the fact that this is making a trine, we're going to be having big dreams. And instead of just it being a fleeting thought of, oh, that would be nice to do, Saturn's going to be like, oh yeah, like I know a person, or yeah, that app can get us started, or you know what, let's save the money for that, or you know what, let's get a second opinion. Like, let's just move with it, right? Let's start today. Let's start now. Let's start with what we have and make it happen. So for the next 2 years, actually, so I'm giving you guys a little bit into 2027, this energy is going to be here. So, it would be really great to think in a 2-year period with some projects, right? I've been doing this, and This is definitely not just a 2026 energy. This is most definitely a 2027 energy as well. We also are going to be with Saturn within the 6th house in Aries. We're going to be strengthening, getting very sober and practical around our daily life. So this transit is reminding me of an interview that Miley Cyrus did. If you guys don't know, I grew up with Hannah Montana. I love Miley. And she said that her being sober was because she wanted to be 100% of the time. That's a very 6th house transit. I do believe she has a lot of 6th house energy within her chart. And that is Virgo. That is keeping the vessel clear. That is keeping the vessel clean, whether that is what we intake audio wise, what we intake physically, food, right? Or even energies, right? And it's creating strong sovereignty around our boundaries, right? I can't do that anymore. It doesn't fit into my daily life, right? I don't want to go out drinking. I don't want to keep waking up late, or I don't want to keep eating food that's going to make me feel tired. I want to work in the morning, or I want a really good night routine, or, I really want to avoid burnout. I want to be more productive. I want to be like my career play into my overall wellness, or just vice versa, have overall wellness so I can perform in my career more as well. And I just saw 1115, which 5 is huge changes, and 1s are new beginnings. So I do feel like the changes that we'll be making in our daily life are really going to support us in our legacy, right? Because like a couple years of locking in, like this is really what that reminds me of. Like a couple years of locking in can get you more progress than kind of just winging it, right? And seeing what happens. This is very, very intentional. So that is the first transit. The second transit is right afterwards. So February 13th, then on February 17th, this is just huge. I started with Scorpio risings for a reason. Like out of all the rising signs, intuitively looking at it, I was like, Scorpio rising's career year is so big in 2026. So we have February 17th, we have the first eclipse season. Happy eclipse season. May the odds be ever in your favor. This is the annual solar eclipse in Aquarius. So it is going to be in Aquarius. However, it highlights both houses 100%. The axis, right? With every sign or placement, there's a opposite, right? And astrology just has a perfect math like that, right? And so this is eclipse seasons essentially to kind of, and I could make a whole other video on eclipses, and I might do videos for the eclipse season. So, another reason to turn on those notifications so you don't miss. There's always I feel like I'll want for guidance during the eclipse seasons because it's so intuitive, the energy. It's very lunar and stirring up the subconscious, and we're consciously what is going on. The eclipse season essentially is going to be eclipsing in your guys' 4th house and your guys' career. So astrology kind of confirms that when there are major things happening within us, it's reflecting on the outside. When we are shifting and changing our psychological foundation, our emotions, our nervous system, our home, our partners, our family, this can alter our legacy. This can alter results within our career, within our path, within our journey of achievement and our legacy. Again, legacy is if you were the first person to travel outside the country in your family, if you were the first person to immigrate, if you were the first person to get a college degree. This is also were you known as the calm one? Were you known as the funny one? Were you known as the person that took risks? What do you want to be remembered for, right? So it's very holistic. So this could be a time, yes, where things could change around moving wise and stuff like that, but this is going to be very, very big in terms of career. So eclipses, whatever wants to come in, let it come in. Whatever wants to go, let it go. And if you are put in a position where you feel like there's pressure to make a decision in your life, go with the option that empowers you and satisfies you emotionally, not what other people want, not what anyone else wants. The Notebook, what do you want? What do you want? I don't know. What do you want? Don't think about what he wants or what I want. Okay, anyway. I did that monologue for my acting class. Anyway, I also did Mean Girls as well. I love Rachel McAdams. Moving on. This is a time too of just fated events. So this is one of the most, there are two time periods. I mean, there's a lot of fated energy for you guys here. I'll just say that, but this is like the electric shock. This is the lightning bolt. This is really in, like, if it's a storm, and I don't want to say storm almost because I feel like storms can be viewed as like a bad thing, and I am not. I'm just like, in a fireworks show, for example, we'll use that example instead. In a fireworks show, this is like the big fireworks, you know, those big ones, those big kahuna ones. You're like, oh my goodness, that's the one I was waiting for. This is going to be that transit. This is going to happen twice this year. So this is the first one. I would just pay attention to what's happening. And this is a time of taking stock too. So this can be the time where we like pull the plug. We're like, you know what? It's time to write this. It's time to do this. This also is where it's very important to see who's coming in. New characters tend to come around. Returner characters, right? This is that part of this of the show where they're bringing back old characters, where they are introducing some newbies. And so this can also bring opportunities, right? Or we really settle into a choice emotionally, right? We kind of get like pushed to the edge, like, you know what? I'm just going to audition for that thing, or I'm finally going to leave that job, or whatever it is, right? So that is going to be the second transit. The third transit is going to be, what do we got here? Uranus entering Gemini. Yes, I am so excited for this too, because Uranus loves Aquarius energy, and it does well in sort of the mental realm. What I like about Uranus entering Gemini is Uranus is the genius, so it has a lot of brilliant ideas. And I like Gemini energy because Gemini is so mutable and can entertain a lot of ideas, yet Mercury is a 3D planet. And with that being said, we're able to find the process to bring these genius ideas to life. We have the ability to see how this is going to work in the real world, how we're going to anchor this divine idea down. I already know, like, April 25th, I joke about this, and perhaps you've heard me talk about it, but Michael Jackson was in an interview, and he said, you know, sometimes I'll get an idea at 3:00 in the morning, you know, late at night when I'm sleeping, I'll get ideas. I got an idea at 3:00 in the morning. I called my team. We went to the studio to go record this song because God gave me this song idea and this needed to be out in the world. And I was afraid that if I ignored it, he was going to give it to Prince. So this is very much that energy to me. Like the divine or our own brilliance is just going to be creating a lot of ideas. And I think this is going to be a time where if you have an idea, April 25th, use it in your career. Why this matters is because Uranus entering Gemini through your guys' 8th house is making a sextile to your 10th house. And sextiles create opportunities. Trines are unconscious gifts that we have. Sextiles are conscious opportunities. So we have to say yes to the dress, honey. We have to say deal or no deal. This is a conscious choice and it is an opportunity. So we'll be able to one of our power is going to be these new perspectives, these new ways of doing things, these different ideas, and we could really use that in our career. And this also, just because Uranus is sextiling through the 10th house, this is an opportunity for a lot of change. So that being said, as we go through this change in our career, it's gonna be evolving us towards the place that we've always wanted, and our legacy is being activated through change. So being adaptable in our career will be our power this year. If something is a little, like if there's a job offer further away, or if there's something that's a little out of your comfort zone, or they're showing you the project, or you have the idea, maybe collaborators like will have great ideas too, or something to add, or we might switch it up. So being very mutable and adaptable is going to be our power, and this is just new ideas, and that's very divine. So that's our power, and making sure to utilize those is going to be there as well. So, and then embracing any changes, because any changes, especially like major external shifts, that's a sign that we are actually evolving in our legacy, right? And in our career. The fourth transit's going to be Jupiter entering Leo. So we have June 30th. Jupiter enters Leo. And this is extremely exciting because Jupiter is going to be going through your guys' 10th house. Hallelujah. This is incredible. I love this for you guys. Jupiter is a benefic planet. Jupiter is also a social planet. So Jupiter often involves opportunities with other people. Jupiter also represents gurus and teachers. We could be finding the right coach. We could be finding the right client if we're stepping into a teacher ownership sort of guru position. This reminds me too of that quote, and I think I saw this on Threads the other day, but it said, God gave you the idea, he'll give you the clients, right? And, you know, whether you believe God is a woman or not, she gave you the idea, she will give you the clients, right? So this is what that is reminding me of as well. Jupiter is extremely karmic. So this was always meant to happen, right? That's also something very, very important. Jupiter is a teacher, and it gives us the experiences, right? So now you are ready for this role that you were always meant to have. There's going to be an offer, or there's going to be a little pop-up of something that you've really been wanting, right? Like coaching, or an opportunity, or an asset, a job, something like that. And that is very karmic for you to experience, and that's something that you'll be learning through doing. So by doing this, we are going to become much wiser in our career life. We're going to become much wiser in our public persona, in our reputation. 10th house in Leo, you guys just automatically, Scorpio risings, are shining stars in your guys's career, in your guys's field, in your guys's job. This also, is just your legacy. Like, you are just a rock star of a mom. You are just a rock star of a wife. You are just a rock star of a leader, so, and Leo in the 10th house are leaders, right? I call this like HBIC. If you know, you know. I'm not going to say it. But if you know, you know. And I mean that in the best way possible. My dream, quite literally. So, you're just in charge. This is going to be the opportunity to take charge in your life, to lead, to shine also as well. And also, it's not just we're going to get opportunities, we're going to get money, we're going to get all these things, visibility, impact, but anything that we it's very, very auspicious Jupiter, right? And like someone in a reading was like, oh my gosh, like you kept saying that this year is going to be auspicious, like I'm so scared. Like auspicious means just lucky. I know it kind of sounds like suspicious. It's not sus. She's auspicious, she's lucky. So there's definitely a lot of luck this year in career, lucky breaks, lucky opportunities. Jupiter comes around to each house once every 12 years. So definitely milk it. And that's what I'm saying. It's a two-way street. You want to go after opportunities, it will be very auspicious. There's auspicious results here. Traveling for work could also be a thing. And then we also have the 5th transit, which is going to be the total solar eclipse. And that's going to be August 12th in Leo. Huge. Like, I can't even tell you how not only amazing, but like rare that it is that the South Node's going to be moving through your 10th house. Jupiter is going to be moving through your guys' 10th house at the same time. And we're just having eclipses. It's just like a lot of Leo energy. And Leo is bigger, better. It reminds me of Sharpay Evans from High School Musical. I want the world, nothing less, all the glam and success. And it's just, it is just awesome. We feel larger than life. Our career feels larger than life. Or this is just the time where like we're finding true joy. We're finding true will in our career life again, right? And even if this means like that certain jobs or like roles are getting eclipsed out of your life, this will in turn activate our heart and like what we really want and going to a place where we can shine. And definitely lots of changes in career, but August 12th will be huge. I think it's going to be at the 20th degree. I actually have my Venus in Leo at 21 degrees. So it's going to be very, very interesting for anybody who has Leo placements as well. If you have Leo 10th house placements, I mean, anybody who has 10th house placements is meant to have a certain amount of notoriety, a certain amount of recognition, a certain amount of exposure, a certain amount, like just a very, very huge legacy. And this is the activation of that. So another eclipse season and the same rules do apply. So this one's going to feel a lot more career based or legacy based than the first eclipse. The first eclipse is going to mirror our career, but it's going to be more inner, more home, more behind the scenes, and that is going to trigger, the opposite. And this one's going to be the 10th house being activated, so very public dealings, straight with our career events, and how we're showing up in the public, our reputation, things like that. And then it's going to trickle down within our private life, our home life. Then the 6th transit is going to be right after August 12th, August 18th. The nodes will officially move out of Virgo and Pisces into Leo and Aquarius. I absolutely will be doing a video on this when the time comes because that is so huge. The nodes are based off of the moon, right? They are mathematical points based off of the moon. That being said, when a lunar cycle comes to a close, aka when it finishes out in Pisces, this is really the beginning of a huge cycle for us. This is also adding into the year 1, year 10 energy just of 2026. However, this is going to be a brand new cycle with our career. And when the South Node moves through something, that's a lot of past life events coming up, right? So this is going to be heavy past life energy. And it's going to be past life people that were involved in your career, past life careers that you had, perhaps even going into the same karmic storylines, right? So it reminds me of, when shows say, they think back to a memory, or even in some movies or shows, they actually like time travel, or like they'll go and see like for example in Scrooge, like the Mickey Mouse Once Upon a Christmas. If you know, if you don't, basically Donald Duck is Scrooge, and he sees the 3 ghosts, the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas future. And he's looking at, the past of like how he has been. And it's so like when he looks back, he's like, I would just do things so differently, or he's like, that's justified, or he just has the opportunity to look back on his past. This is like we're living it out again, but we do have the conscious awareness in our human avatar in this form to choose differently. So that is the karma, that is the effect of fate and the nodes and what they talk about of our karmic journey. What are we going to choose? So these situations are being brought up again for us to choose differently. And what is going to allow for us to make the most satisfying soul choice? You guys are very, very intuitive. Just like I consider myself intuitive, I do think a lot of people, like, what's for you will never miss you. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, destiny, all that plays a role. But sometimes with the free will, there can feel like a lot of pressure, right? And sometimes a lot of feelings when the eclipses come up and we're tired, and it's like, I'm tired, Grandpa. And I think that's when the guidance comes in. And my biggest thing would be just to go with what emotionally liberates you with the 4th house in Aquarius, and to go with change. And perhaps even with the South Node moving through our 10th house, this can be an ego death around our career, around our legacy, around our reputation, right? Where the ego is dissolving and becoming like having a healthier relationship with, me perhaps like being defensive, or perhaps like I can do this on my own, or even sometimes the ego can hold us back, like, nah, that's not for me, but we might just be scared, right? And we don't want to get hurt. And that's our ego being like, oop, wall up, not going to let you get hurt, right? And this is really when a lot of that's going to be dissolved. To me, this is like removing any walls that like kept our inner child from shining fully and truly, or like helping our inner child in a way where like we're really acting in a way too where like we are stepping into more of that leader, more of that child, like leading with the child, and that is like a lot of innocence. So like coming back to purity, right? Coming back to like our innocence in a way too with Leo. And I was taught by my astrologer that, Leo placements are such great leaders, and they are in their greatest emanation of a leader when they lead through the heart, right? Like great leaders talk to their people, they connect with their people, they, it's very heart open energy. And this is also going to clear any blocks around fully being seen, and like releasing any performative timelines, or like praise kink, if you want to put it like that, timelines where like we're relying on validation, or we're performing, and we're going to move into a lot more authenticity, right? And that's going to be in all areas of our life, like our psychological foundation. We're just becoming more authentic and free in our own individual authenticity, I suppose. And yeah, which is really awesome. This reminds me of like with Jupiter moving through here too, like a lion learning to roar, right? That's kind of what it reminds me of, right? Where it's going to be awesome. And yeah, if anything leaves, by the way, like any career opportunities, if anything gets like eclipsed out, that also is part of the past life timeline dissolving. And there will be a clean slate after, these eclipse seasons, if we choose a soul-fulfilling thing. And you'll know. It's one of those things where it's like, when you know, you know. All right. And then the 7th transit, this is going to be Mars entering Leo. I really, really love this. I don't typically include Mars because Mars is pretty quick in the way that it moves, but I love telling it for people in more niche transits, like what area of life is going to be a main focus. September 28th to November 25th, Mars is going to be moving through your guys' 10th house. This is paired with Neptune, paired with Saturn. Like, this is the energy boost that we will love to see, right? This Mars is whatever area Mars is transiting in our natal chart is the area of life in which we are pouring the most amount of energy to. We are able in this area of life to destroy obstacles in our way and blockages in order to get to our desired outcome. and we can feel like we just have a lot more energy to pour into this area of life. This is where the focus just generally is. So I want to tell people, if you want to knock out a project, if you want to align dates for something, September 28th to November 25th. And then the little extra surprise transit, I decided to type in some minor asteroids intuitively. July 21st, and just like the summer in general, like I just wrote down this summer, because this summer for you guys is, I think, really when a lot of the career energy is going to be alive, like fully alive. And the Fama asteroid, which is the asteroid of fame, is going to be right next to Jupiter, just like through Leo. So anybody who is in TV, I have followers that are in TV, I have followers that make music, I have followers that are in acting, I have followers that create content, that are just artists, creatives, and just the creator of their own life. This is going to be exposure. We could even, like, in our community, right, just kind of be acknowledged, just kind of be recognized, right, for our work, for our purpose, like being a leader. There could even be like things where people are going to remember that joke or the way that you perform something or just who you are. And then of course that's like a micro scale, but on a macro scale, we're going to see the numbers go up, baby. The watch time, the followers, the views, the purchases, and just outreach is going to be massive. So because Jupiter expands whatever it touches. Jupiter in Leo, the sun is so big. It's like a flashlight, right? This area of our life, the lights are always on in this, the house we have Leo in is the city that never sleeps, quite truly. It is Vegas. And so I thought that I mentioned that too. Just a lot of fame opportunity this year for my peeps who want to be famous, that know that they're meant to be famous on some level. So that is all of the transits. Let's go ahead and roll the astro dice. So something fun that I like to do here too is these could be the signs that are playing an important role for your career in 2026, and we'll just see what message comes through. So my spirit guides, those watching's spirit guides, please protect us as we roll for my Scorpio risings, and please let us know any significant people or any significant extra information. Oh, I love this. Okay. We have Uranus. So we have Aquarius. So Aquarians could be, and that makes so much sense because all the eclipses are going to be happening in your Aquarius house as well this year. And Cancer right here. And so Cancers could also be playing a significant role in your guys's year ahead. And this makes a lot of sense too, because Jupiter is going to be in Cancer until June 30th. And so there's still going to be more expansion in your guys' life. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cancers that you know are like also foreigners. And if the like Aquarians that you know are also like people in your family or like partners or people that you live with. And then we have the 7th house, which is Libra. So we have Libra, Aquarius, and Cancer. This could be like Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury. And the message that I get from this is, first off, this could be obviously changes in family dynamics when we have Uranus, the planet of change, evolution, seeing the future, and breaking free. So this could be definitely like moving from an environment in which we're going to get more peace with that Libra. I definitely think people are extremely important this year. Networking is going to be huge. You could be feeling very social as well. And your heart could just be so filled up by the people and the relationships in your life. Like there could be so many epiphanies that you get that progress you forward from the people in your life. And if you do have a business, I see this popping off. and you could just feel really nurtured by your business. If you are like, you're just internally changing a lot as well. And I think this is letting me know too that go with who makes you feel good. Go with who nurtures you, who wants to see you evolve into the person you're meant to be. All right, and then we have, I'm so excited for this. So we have the Goddess Power deck. So this is going to be our guidance, as well as any goddesses that are going to be very close to us, near us, as well as if there is an asteroid for this goddess that you want to look up, that could be a significant asteroid that's activating some area in your career. So how you guys doing tonight? I'm very curious what your guys' career plans are. You know what I mean? Like, what does everyone have going on? Like, what career paths do you guys have? What projects are you guys working on? Like, what are the goals this year? All right. I got a card. Also, if you made it to this portion of the reading, please put a star in the comments, because you guys, Leo Midhaven / Leo in the 10th house, you guys are a star. You guys ready? We have number 52. We have Yuki Onna. And this says stillness. Okay. And you know what? This reminds me of your guys' like 4th house in Aquarius. I always like aqua, you know, Aquarius is blue. I always think of blue when I think of Aquarius. And so this is telling me too, the guidance. This makes so much sense. There's going to be a lot of transits, right? Leo's very, very big energy, like bigger than life. I think stillness is going to be so, so, so important. And I also think that, yeah, like pay attention to who nurtures you through this, who, like when you're accomplishing, when you're doing, when you have these big dreams, like those little like ways in which people are going to look out for you, take care of you, like ask you how you're doing, be there for you on days that some days the emotions might be running high, right? The energy might be a lot, and it's going to be so important to nurture ourselves and find that stillness. So that is the goddess, that is the message, and that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so, so, so much for watching. I am wishing you guys infinite success in all that you do. There's enough food for everyone to eat at the table in this life, and so I can't wait to hear what you guys have going on. And just take it easy, take care, and I will see you guys in a later video.